Alright, what is up guys? Loser Maniac here, and welcome back to another video. Hold on, real quick, before I start, I'm gonna see if I can open these up a bit. Boom! Natural lighting. And welcome back to another video. Today, I decided I will do somewhat of a Q&A, but this isn't like those standard YouTuber Q&As. I didn't go on like Twitter or anything to ask you guys to give me questions because I am not, I'm not that popular yet. But and I did try to do like a similar like Q&A or like a similar like get to know me type thing, but I I I'm not good at that. And yes, I am wearing two shirts. It is cold here. It's cold here in Washington. It is getting to that point where it is getting cold. It's currently raining outside, which makes me very happy, but I was up and about and I don't want to wear a jacket, so I wore two shirts. A Led Zeppelin shirt, and this is a Beavis and Butthead long sleeve shirt. You guys can probably see right there. I'll kind of keep that quick because I think that is copyright. So yeah, so I'm wearing a long sleeve. I'm wearing a short sleeve over a long sleeve. So yeah. Anyways, like I mentioned before, this is a Q&A, but I decided to go online and just Google I just Googled like questions to ask people. There are 100 questions, but I'm not going to go through all 100 just because this video would be like an hour long. Due to my ADHD and my constant need to explain fucking everything. So what I did was, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a couple of these, pick out the most interesting ones. And yeah. We'll see what happens. So the first one is, who is your hero? Now, I don't really have a hero. I could do this separate. I can do this in like different ways. I am a guitar player. I'm not good because I have performance shy. So I could say like, who's your biggest inspiration? In which case is Sinister Gates of Avenged Sevenfold or Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. But I guess like if we're, I don't really have like a hero. I would say like my mom or my dad, but my relationship with my dad is becoming scattered. And my relationship with my mom, I haven't really hung out with her a whole lot since moving to Washington, so I can't really put that in there. But the person that I guess fascinates me the most is a fictional character. It is Miranda from Mass Effect, and I could say that it's because she's a romance option, but honestly, the reason why I like Miranda the most is because of the fact that she's genetically modified to be perfect, but she doesn't really let that stop her. Like, she knows that she's not perfect. And so ways, I mean, look at me. I look like I was washed up on the beach. Like, well, I look like I came out of an exploding, dying whale. And that's what I say about myself. But she doesn't like let her perfection stop her from acknowledging the fact that, yeah, she may be designed to be perfect, but that doesn't mean she is. Like, she when it comes to her loyalty mission, you learn that she trusts in the cat so much that it bit her. It came back to like mess with her and whatnot. And she felt like she should have known that she felt like she should have known that that was going to happen, which she didn't, because she's a human at the end of the day. So yeah, I guess Miranda Lawson is kind of my hero for Mass Effect, but human-wise, I don't really have anyone, just because I kind of live within my realm of my own personal bubble. So there's that. Next, if you could live anywhere, where would it be? I don't really know. I do want to say like some country that has like free healthcare or whatever, but I don't know much about healthcare to take advantage of that. Um, Probably I don't really know. I want to say like Japan, but I don't like Japanese food a whole lot. I don't know. I guess the UK. It'd be a different experience than living in America. I've lived in America for like 20 years, so I think it'd be interesting to like move somewhere else to like maybe the UK or Canada because of Call Me Chris. I don't know why Call Me Chris, but I figured I just mentioned that just cause. But But yeah, like Matthew Santoro is from Canada and Call Me Chris is from Canada. I've heard nothing but good things about Canada. Granted, they use we use the metric system, which is like Fahrenheit and feet. They use the imperial system, or do we use the? They measure things like Celsius and kilometers, and I'm not about that. So, but yeah, either the UK or Canada, just because I think it'd be a different experience for the most part. Let's see here. What is your biggest fear? Snakes. Well, I guess that's my phobia. I feel like biggest fear is the joking answer I always give, and this is kind of true, is randomly throwing up. Like I'm just walking down like in school or whatever, and I throw up. I would say that's my biggest fear, like out of nowhere. Like my stomach is fine, I feel fine, but something just happens and I throw up. That's a big fear of mine. But I guess I don't really have a genuine fear of something that isn't a phobia. So yeah, I would say that is it. What would you change about yourself if you could? I Maybe the fact I'm obsessed. I get obsessive pretty easily. It is something I could try and fix, but I feel like that's more of a mental thing. If you watch a lot of my Mass Effect videos or like Cyberpunk videos or Fallout videos, for the most part, I generally, when it comes to Mass Effect, I either talk about Miranda or Liara because I'm obsessed with those two. Mostly Miranda. I talk about her a lot, obviously, as I mentioned in my first question. Who's your biggest hero? Um, yeah. When it comes to Cyberpunk, I'm obsessed with Pan Am. I have stopped playing female characters. I have played female characters before, but I've had to stop and play a male character just so that I can romance Pan Am because I'm just so used to playing a male character and romancing Pan Am. Um, and Fallout, I'm obsessed with Piper in Fallout 4 and or Veronica in Fallout New Vegas. I don't really have an obsession for Fallout 3 because I don't play that game a whole lot. So yeah, so there's one thing I can change about myself is that I'm a constantly obsessive. Once I'm obsessed with something, I don't stop talking about it. I was obsessed with Led Zeppelin for the longest time. They were all I would talk about, and it just gets annoying after a while. Um, so yeah, so there's that. What really makes you angry? I don't know. I would say if you're drunk and you don't try and manage it. I don't really have a problem with you being drunk. If you want to be drunk, that's fine. But if you're around me, I don't want to say I expect it, but I want you to like try and control it, not make it obvious that you're drunk and whatnot. Or don't disregard I feel like the biggest one is since I'm very emotional, I would say don't disregard my feelings. Even though I'd probably do the same thing, but that's different. Yeah. Next, proudest accomplishment. I don't really have much. I don't really have a lot of proudest accomplishments. Um, I would say the proudest accomplishment I got recently was doing the one and only trophy from Mass Effect. If you guys have played Mass Effect 3 and have gotten this trophy or achievement, then you guys will probably know how difficult it is. I was playing an adept character, so it's not really that useful to do. I probably should have used like soldier or maybe a vanguard because the vanguard was by far the toughest shepherd to deal with. So yeah, those two. That or just getting a job. I really struggled with um I really struggled with like finding a job a whole lot. I still do just because I hate applying for jobs just because I don't like the thought of like knowing that I applied and then I just have to sit there and wait and wait and wait. And then I get like paranoid of like, oh, they don't like me, they don't want me, whatever. So yeah, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, so once I finally got a job, it was pretty I was very nervous at first. I did cry my first day because I give up pretty easily. Um but yeah, I would say that's it. What makes you laugh the most? There's this comedian. I don't know if you guys know him by the name of Josh Wolf. He is so fucking hilarious. He has a story. He has a story where he talks about a time where he bought a 6 foot, 300 pound stripper to a friend, or not stripper, but wrestler, to his friend's bachelor party, which he then proceeded to be uninvited from. It's the funniest shit ever. But it says what makes you laugh the most. I don't really know. There isn't really much. I find everything funny. So yeah. Next, what was the last movie you went to? What did you think? Now, the last movie I watched was Leprechaun in the Hood, or Back to the Hood. It was all right. It's not one of the better Leprechaun movies. I think the first one is pretty good. I did get Leprechaun Returns, so I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. But the last movie I went to or saw was Leprechaun Back to the Hood. It was all right. I was barely paying attention due to my ADHD. But Paige Kennedy, the Viner, is in the movie also. In case some of you guys were wondering. Um, um, Let's see. What is your favorite game or sport to watch and play? So at the moment, Mass Effect. Without it, I know. I talk about it a lot. Again, obsessive. Favorite game. Although favorite game. If we're not talking about like obsessive, then maybe the Fallout franchise. Just because it is really fun to play. The story in there is amazing. It's one of those like you get to take your time and explore everything. Although whenever I play a game so much, my ADHD kicks in and I lose interest so much. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. But at this point in time, Mass Effect without a doubt. Yeah, what two radio stations do you listen to in the car the most? I don't drive, but if I was to have a radio station to listen to, it would probably be either heavy metal or classic rock stuff. Just because I love those two stuff, or just whatever I'm in the mood for. Not rap or country or pop. Um, yeah, so either heavy metal, grunge, alternative, or like classic rock. That's about it. Um, let's see here. Have you ever had a nickname? What is it? I do have a current nickname. It is Bubba. I am not sure why. Um, I'm not sure why. I haven't really asked my mom, but my sister calls me Bubs because of it. So I don't want to ask her why. Do you like or dislike surprises? Why or why not? I dislike surprises, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I want to know what's happening. I hate being like left in the dark of everything. I remember there was and I learned I dislike surprises when I got bad grades. And my mom would like take away all of my stuff, all of my video games, all of my phones, and I have autism. And one of my therapists said like you cannot do that. Um, but before she was told that, she took away my phone, my electronics, all at once. So I would sneak my phone or my tablet up to my room without her knowing. And then she said I was gonna give it back to you as a surprise, but since you lied to me and hid from me, um, I was gonna, yeah. So she was gonna surprise me with giving me my phone back, but I don't like surprises. So I got a bit upset about it. Um, Excuse the noise. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job, and why? I'd rather win the lottery just because I like the idea of like getting money without having to work as hard. I'm pretty lazy. But the idea of like winning the lottery is just something I would be really cool to have. Or it would be really cool to do. Um, if money was no object, what would you do all day? I would go on a massive spending spree. Anything I want, I got. And the reason that is because like they say like money can't buy happiness, but to that I totally disagree. If you're a gamer, imagine, and like you had all the money you could have. Imagine how much happy you would be, how much happier you would be if, especially considering like me, I grew up like not poor, but we couldn't really buy a whole lot of these stuff. And so the fact that like with money being was no object, um I would buy like all the gaming consoles, all of the Xboxes, all the PlayStations, all the Nintendo's products, everything, every game from there. I would get more than like a couple of consoles to play more games and whatnot. It would be awesome, I think. Obviously, I'll need to have like a binder to notify or like label everything like this console is for these games and whatnot. But yeah, I would go on a massive spending spree. Whatever I want, I get. But I'm assuming that it says money is no object. What would you have? What would you do all day? I'm assuming that means like for like the next 24 hours, you have unlimited money. What would you do within those 24 hours? And massive spending spree. I'm assuming that like if I order like a shit ton of stuff off Amazon that it is already paid for, shipping isn't a problem, or like the second and then the second that goes away, it is still I still get those stuff, or like if I purchase something and before I got it, um if I can no longer afford it, then I don't get that item. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? The 1970s to see Led Zeppelin live. I know that seems a bit ridiculous, but yeah, I of all the bands I want to see live, it is Led Zeppelin without a doubt. They, I've seen the clips. I have heard the songs live. I think it would be freaking amazing to go see them live, but unfortunately, I I can't because one of the members is dead and they aren't touring it and they aren't coming back anytime soon. So yeah, what are your hobbies? Just playing video games mostly. Video games or listening to music and fantasizing on Mass Effect. Again, obsessed. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, just so get used to it. Um, Best gift you were ever given? Probably my PlayStation 4. I know this seems a bit ridiculous of me. Either that or my guitar. I don't play it a whole lot because I have performance shy, but the fact that I have the guitar kind of now that I own one, it kind of implanted the fact that I want to be a rock star or a music person, a music player. Um, so yeah, in the PS4, just cause I I became a PlayStation person pretty late in my life. I was an Xbox person. I had the original Xbox, and then I got the 360. And then once I moved to Colorado, my best friend at the time had a PS3 that he wasn't using anymore. So I was like, "Can I have it?" He's like, "Sure, just pay me a certain amount of money." So I did. Half. I paid half. I still haven't paid him the rest of it, and I probably won't ever do that. Probably. I'm not sure. More likely, probably not. And then that kind of gave, and the reason I got the PS3 was just because I was obsessed with Black Ops 2, but I wanted to play online because I was tired of playing the single player. Because after a while, it just gets boring, and you just want more stuff to do. And since the PS3 has free online mode, or you can play online for free without having to pay for anything, I decided that would be a good idea. Um, so yeah, how many pairs of shoes do you own? I own 7 pairs of shoes. It's about to be 8 soon. My mom's getting me a pair of Vans for Christmas, and I know that she is because she told me. So yeah, I have 7 pairs of shoes, and soon to be 8. Um, Aside from there's 2 pet peeves. I could go the obvious route and say like what angers me and use the same answer that angers me the most. But honestly, the thing that angers me, or one of my pet peeves, is um, if I list off a song name and they start singing it, it bothers me because I don't like people singing. I think some people are good at singing, but for the most part, I think a lot of people have terrible voices and they can't sing for shit. Um, and I don't know. My pet peeves vary depending on what mood I'm in. But I guess another one is when people judge me for my decisions. Like I have my PlayStation 4 home screen is um, we're gonna talk about Mass Effect again. It's of Miranda and her bra from her romance scene. Um, and it's on my home screen because I love Miranda so much. But my grandma doesn't know about it, and I don't want her judging me for that, so I'm hiding it from her. So yeah, I would say that's it. Just people who judge me for my decisions, even though it's my decisions. Unless it's like a very stupid decision like robbing a bank, then I understand that much. As long as it's not illegal, then judging uh, people judging me for my decisions. Other than that, if it's illegal, it's highly understandable. Um, let's see. What would you do if you won the lottery? That depends on how much money I'm getting. I know that the biggest lottery was a couple billion dollars, I think. But if I won the lottery, I don't know. Some people would say like invest in it or whatever, but I don't know how to invest shit. Maybe I guess I would hold off on the money until I learn how to invest, and then invest in whatever. Um, Spend it for my. I would give some to some of my family, obviously, but the rest is mine. Um, but again, that depends on how much I won. Um, how many pillows do you sleep with? I sleep with 3 pillows in one case. Yeah. Um, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. It is comfortable, but the problem is that most pillowcases, a lot of pillowcases, in fact, I think all pillowcases are not fit for pillows in one case. So the pillowcase will start to rip over time. My current pillowcase is ripping because it's not fit for 3 pillows in one. So yeah. What form of public transportation do you prefer? I prefer car because air is terrifying. Boat, I barely go on. It could sink like the Titanic. Train, I feel like that's it's fast, but again, could be accidents. Bus, there's a lot of weird people for me to deal with. Plus, in fact, there's a lot of people for me to deal with. And car, I just feel like I'm mostly in the car with people that I know, so I would trust them. I trust easily. What's the longest you've gone without sleep? No more than, or no less than 48 hours. I have not gone a full 2 days without sleep. I would say maybe 40 hours. Hold on. If I stayed awake till 8, 24 hours. Yeah, close to that. Close to 48 or 24 hours. Around that. But yeah, I have never gone a full 48 or more hours without sleep because I prefer sleep. Um, would you rather trade intelligence for looks or looks for intelligence? Um, I don't know. Probably looks. I am very self-conscious about the way I look. Um, Plus, I feel like if you're good looking, you probably won't have to say much. But if you're intelligent, then you can like I feel like the face is a bit more is the first thing people are gonna notice as opposed to your intelligence because a lot of people just assume that you're either an idiot or you're smart. But if you look at someone, they know whether you're ugly or beautiful, even though beauty is like on the eye of the beholder or whatnot. Um, So yeah, I feel like I would rather trade look for intelligence because I'm already an idiot. I'm an idiot and I'm ugly looking, so that's a lose lose anyways. But I feel like between the two, I would say looks because I feel like that would make a good impression on someone. Like just so you know, yes, I am good looking, but I am also a dumbass. Just so you know. Um, have you ever had a secret admirer? I don't know. Probably not. Not because I'm ugly, but just because I'm very awkward. Um, and I feel like that's a no because, and I think it's also a maybe because it's a secret admirer. Who knows? That's probably. um, favorite holiday probably Thanksgiving or Christmas. The only thing I hate about Christmas is the fact that that stupid Mariah Carey song is everywhere, and they never played the Little Drummer Boy. I'm talking about the original Little Drummer Boy. That is my favorite song. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just barely on the radio. Um, yeah. Favorite type of food. I like Italian food, but I also like some Chinese food. My favorite food of all time is lasagna. I love lasagna, but so if there's ever a time that we go to like an Italian restaurant, that's all I would get. I would look at the menu just to be safe, um, just to make sure that they have it. I also really love barbecue. So yeah, are you a clean or messy person? I am very messy. I don't live in a pigsty, but like my room isn't very clean. Yeah, who would you want to play you in a movie of your life? I would definitely say whoever's really good at making fun of themselves for a living. If we're going off like if this is just another way of saying who's my favorite actor, then I would definitely say John Krasinski, just because he's my favorite actor. And yes, it is definitely because of The Office, but I have seen other clips of films of his. I have seen him in Jack Ryan, and I've seen him in A Quiet Place. Really good stuff, but who I would want to play you in a movie? Jack Black. He's awesome. He's funny, which is the exact opposite of I am. I, f- I feel like since my whole life is just me being or me hating myself, I feel like he could pull that off pretty well. Um, plus he's in a rock band and he loves heavy metal. I feel like he could pull that off pretty well. Um, how long does it take you to get ready in the morning? That just kind of depends on how often I listen to music. Usually I wake up around 7 or 8, but I don't really leave my room until like 10 a.m. So or it's like 2 to 3 hours. I don't really like get up and start the day. I'm not like, all right, I gotta go have breakfast, brush my teeth, take my medication. I have like D3 tablets that I barely use. Time to change into some pants, time to get ready for the day. I don't do that. I'm just a fat slob. So not really a whole lot. Favorite fast food chain. This is gonna bother a lot of people, but I really like Burger King. Burger King or Subway. Those are like my two favorites. Burger King. Let me explain first. Burger King because my grandfather owned a Burger King. Um, and so Burger King just reminds me of him. And Subway just cause it's really good stuff. I've been watching Marag. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. If you guys don't know, he works at Subway and he makes a lot of these like Subway shorts, or he has a POV channel where it just shows him making Subway, and I always find it interesting. And every time I watch it, I am in the mood for Subway. But there is not a Subway near here I could go to. Um, yeah. Do you love or hate roller coasters? The thing about roller coasters is I hate going on them at first, but once I go on them, I just want to keep going on them. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship. So do you love or hate roller coasters? Yes. Um, What's your favorite family tradition? We used to do this thing before my parents separated, where every Valentine's Day we would go to a Chinese restaurant, and we would go there every Valentine's Day. And it was, or we would always have Chinese food if the Chinese restaurant we would go to was closed, which it never did. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Or like I guess we would like order in at a Chinese restaurant, if we were still doing it around the time the pandemic hit. Um, it was pretty fun to do. What's your favorite movie? I mentioned this before. The Banana Splits movie is by far my favorite movie. It's ridiculous, but it's entertaining to watch some dude get sawed in half with other people, not by yourself. That movie is not fun to watch by yourself. It's very awkward. Like I feel like that movie is something you have to um it's something you have to watch with other people. How old were you when you learned Santa wasn't real? How did you find out? I don't really know. I think I was in middle school, and I just it was either fifth grade. It was somewhere close to like middle school area. So maybe fourth or fifth grade. I learned Santa wasn't real, and I just learned just cause I don't know why. The only reason I can think of as to why I didn't believe or I stopped believing Santa was real just because I felt like a lot of these people nowadays didn't know that Santa or knew that Santa wasn't real, and if I still believed in it, then I would have been made fun of like as a kid. Even sometimes now I want to like fit in with people and I want to be cool. So I felt like believing in Santa wasn't cool anymore, so I just stopped believing in him. It wasn't like, oh, I saw my mom write the note or write on the note I made for Santa. Yeah, is your glass half full or half empty? That depends on the state of the glass at the beginning. Was it empty beforehand and then was filled up? Because in that case, it's full. I don't get the purpose of this question. I think it means like, are you happy or are you not happy with your life? Personally, I am not. I'm kind of in between. Some days are good days, some days are bad. Some days I wanna. Some days I just wanna kill. End my life or commit not alive anymore. And some days I'm just happy with how I am. So that kind of depends. Um, do you collect anything? I mean, aside from shoes, I'm collecting band shirts. I have a huge collection of band shirts. Well, not a huge. I'm also collecting hats and movies, horror movies. So yeah. Is there anything you wished would come back into fashion? Not really. I'm not a fashion person. If there's one thing I wish would go out of fashion, it's the expensive shit like Jordans, Yeezys, Supremes, Gucci's, Louis Vuittons, and all that. I wish those would go out of style. Oh, you know what I wish would go back into style is neon clothing. I I miss I missed the mark on joining the neon clothing because I was born in 2001, and by the time the 2000s rolled around, it wasn't very popular anymore. So I wish neon clothing was back in fashion. Um, are you an introvert or an extrovert? I mostly lean towards extrovert. I can be inverted at some point, but my tolerance just gets lower and lower the more I talk to people. It goes down pretty fast. Which five senses would you say is your strongest? Probably smelling. Um, or tasting. Although, yeah, I smell a lot of stuff and I can smell. Obviously, I have glasses, so sight is not pretty good. I can barely hear anything. I listen to loud music, so hearing isn't a good pleasure. I hate. I hate touching a lot of stuff, or I guess my hands get overstimulated sometimes, due to like greasiness or whatever. So yeah. Um, 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 does your family have a motto, spoken or unspoken? No. I have a. I used to have a motto. I'm not sure what it was. But yeah, so it's to be honest, I don't know why I picked this question. I was just getting like the spacing out was pretty weird. Who was your favorite teacher in school and why? My favorite teacher was actually my case manager. I have special needs. I have autism and ADHD, but the ADHD part was what. Let me check my. Um, but my ADHD part was kind of what gave me a case manager. And my case manager, I'm not gonna give her last name just out of privacy and respect. But she was my absolute favorite. She gave me a because she was there for me. She helped me out when I needed it. She did she I wasn't the only person she helped, but I was amongst the few that she did help. Um, and the reason I liked her was because like she could have easily like just done her job. Or made me do all the work and whatnot and just like check up on me, but she went above and beyond to give me the stuff I needed that I struggled to get, such as either missing work or just help me with the work needed. um, Whenever I didn't show up for tutoring one day, she was um, or after school work day or whatever, she checked up on me and wondered why I didn't go, and to be honest, I just didn't want to. Just because I was out of it, and I should have let her know, but I didn't. And she's very into like the style of music I'm into. She's more into like punk rock. I'm more into like heavy metal and whatnot. But she was also very support. Like I mentioned before, my dream is to be a musician, in some form, whether it be making, producing, and recording and selling music, or just being a music teacher. She told me she told me to pursue it, and she helped me by getting me a music journal, which I haven't used yet because I haven't played my guitar since I graduated high school. So yeah, so it's mostly the fact that it's mostly the fact that she helped me with what I wanted to do, and helped me graduate, because without her I would probably not have graduated at high school when I needed to. So yeah. If you had a warning label, what would yours say? Um, Horny as hell. I am extreme, or not horny, but sexual as hell. I am extremely sexual. Extremely sexual, or just very self-deprecating. So it would be like warning, very self-deprecacious, I guess, if that's a word. Um. Oh, what song would you say best sums you up? Um. This is a good one. I don't really know. I don't really pay. Oh God, my legs asleep. See, if we're talking about favorite songs, then that's easy. But songs that best sum me up. Um, if we're going off title alone and like not what the lyric entails, then definitely "Oops, I Did It Again," because I do stuff wrong all the time. Or "Fuck You" by CeeLo Green, but I don't. That's a tough one for me to answer. That one I would need to think on long and hard. Who was your first crush? Selena Gomez, probably. It was always Selena Gomez. A lot of kids my age probably had a crush on Selena Gomez. I think she probably knows that too. Um, but again, I'm not sure. But that's the earliest crush I can remember. Well, human crush. On a scale of 1 to 10, how funny would you say you are? A one. Most of my jokes I get from YouTube. That's pretty, or the internet. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Probably doing about as much as I'm doing now. So, video games and watching porn. That's it. What was your first job? At a theme park. I have a bunch of stories about that. In fact, I made 2 videos talking about stories from there. But since I worked Halloween, we did do a Halloween theme. There are some stories that I have more stories on that, but I'm not going to get into those yet. Um, Actually, oh, okay. One of them is, what celebrity would you like to meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee? Not, I wouldn't say they're a celebrity rather than they are a TikTok star, but call me Chris. She is freaking hilarious. Her videos are entertaining. I guess the one question I would ask her is, how does she come up with her characters? Like, it's obviously, I feel like it's a running joke with her. Whether it's true or not, I'm not gonna say. That's not my place to say. I would probably have to ask her. Is like, she mentioned before in a video that the certain character she has is all based on like her insecurities, or just like about her, like she has characters to that kind of signify her depression or whatnot, all of this stuff. So I would just like to spend time and talk with her, get to know her, um and that sort of thing. She seems very interesting. That, or that YouTube Shorts star Mrs. Rogers, because she's 25 years old, which means she's technically old enough to be my older sister. So I just want to talk and like sit down with her and figure out why at such a young age she wanted to be a teacher. And I'm not judging her for that. Mostly females. Um, yeah. So either those two. But again, celebrity is dependent on person to person. I don't consider them a celebrity rather than they are a star. To me, a celebrity is like Hollywood, or that's pretty much it. Um, Now, if it was a famous person, then yeah, call me Chris or Mrs. Rogers. But considering the fact that I don't pay attention to much celebrities, or probably like I mentioned before, Jack Black. Although I'd probably have to come up with like questions for him about that. Um, um, if you could join any past or current music group, which would you want to join? Oh, probably Slipknot. They look like they're having a good time. Although I'm assuming this means like, if you had the skill to join a band, which one would you want to join? So yeah, probably Slipknot. But I feel like with how I am, Mick Thompson would be pretty intimidating for me. Um, Plus, I love Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor is one of my favorite heavy metal singers of all time. Um, so yeah, how many languages do you speak? I speak one actual language, and I speak Pig Latin. Pig Latin, not Latin. Pig Latin. Not as fluently as not as fluently as some people, but I definitely know how to speak it. Kinda. I'm learning. Um, what is that sound? It sounds like someone is breaking in or something. Um, what is one thing you will never do again? Have I done anything I didn't want to do again? I don't know. Probably there's probably um there is probably something I would never do again. Oh, there is one thing I know I would never do again, is play Mass Effect trilogy on an insanity mode. Never doing that again. Nope. I will not be doing that again. That was tough. Um or um I don't know. I've gone through a lot of experiences that I would never do again, but I've deleted them from my memory. Deleted. I've removed them from, or I've forgotten them, so much so that it was so uncomfortable that I probably just would I was just never. That was pretty tough for me to pick one at all. I'll do one more because that was question number 99, but I'll pick one more. Um, let's see. Most unusual thing you've ever eaten. I've eaten a frog before. Not a raw live frog, but I have eaten frogs before. They taste like chicken, actually. They taste pretty good. Um, I did try them. I was on a cruise ship. I was on a Carnival cruise for Christmas. And they were serving frogs there, and my sister loved frogs, so she refused to eat them. Um, but yeah, I had frog legs. They were really good. That's about the most unusual thing I can think of. Now, the most unusual food I want to try is probably. I'm gonna regret saying this. I want to try balut. If you guys know what balut is, it's a barely alive chicken. It's it's a chicken that is it's a duck egg, but the baby duck is still in there. Um, Probably still alive or whatever. Um, so yeah. Oh, here we go. Last one. What's the tallest building you've been to the top in? Probably the Space Needle in Washington. Um, Pretty interesting. I am terrified of heights. Although that's more of I don't. I think what people consider that a building. I do because it's a structure. So I think it's more of a superstructure. But yeah, the Space Needle. That's about the tallest I have been. That's the tallest building I have been in. Um, but yeah, so this was kind of like a proper get to know me type ordeal. If you guys have any more, if there's something else you guys want to know about me, I know these were serious, and I know there's probably one or two. Like, are you a virgin? Yes, just getting that out the way. I mean, can't you tell by my looks and my awkwardness? I'm very much a virgin. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, so yeah, if you guys have any questions you want to ask me, leave them in the comments below. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to be notified so that way you don't miss an upload. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that bell notification to be notified as when I upload because I don't have a schedule. And yeah, Loser Manic out.